so much, Sharon. My Teams is misbehaving now, so I don't really know why it's doing what it's doing, but I'm hoping that you can all see me and hear me.
Yes, we can.
Thank you so much. So yeah, at the end of 3 long but interesting days, I think. Before I start saying anything, I'm going to paste just the link to the conference evaluation form into the chat. So while you're listening and thinking, perhaps you can navigate over there and do an evaluation for us. Okay, there you go. So we'd really appreciate if you could do the evaluation for us to tell us about your experience of the conference and what you enjoyed and what you didn't enjoy and what we could do better. And possible themes for future conferences. So actually, I want to perhaps beyond just the conference evaluation form to just get some feedback from everybody who participated over the past 3 days about your experiences. And so maybe what we can do by way of posting your thoughts in the chat, to tell us what you think the key takeaways were for you from the conference, and maybe we could do that on a day-by-day basis. And so I'll share the conference program with you kind of day by day as a reminder of what you saw, and then maybe you can tell us in the chat. Just do that and see if it works. Please let me know if you can see my screen.
Yes.
So much. I have to do that in a different way. There you go. So we had, to start off with Prof. Roxana, who had some really thought-provoking questions to ask Prof. Francois, who shared some principles around kind of student success broadly, but also some of the approaches and strategies that they're using at the University of the Free State. And for those of you who know the work that they're doing there, I think possibly the leading university in the country at the moment, working on student success. Innocent giving us a statistical overview really of where we are with our call them student success. I'm always kind of apprehensive to refer to throughput and pass rates as the measure of student success, but it is certainly a measure of success, and Innocent gave us an overview of that. We had a student panel discussion with Dr. Zina, and so our first 2 conference papers also from Louis Botha Constance and Abdul Hamid Karimil. Maybe just a comment on that second paper, Abdul. If I remember correctly, you were one of the teaching award winners last year, and I remember sitting in the adjudicating panel and listening to his kind of journey from starting at the university to deciding he can't kind of do what everybody else has done before him, and the success he has achieved with following different approaches to teaching. And so we were really happy that we could convince him to come and do a presentation for us. On day 2, we had Prof. Nicole, and we had panel discussion by a number of participants, mainly I think with reference to the book that Dani and Chapiso edited, and a number of our staff members actually contributed to. Sorry, Fatima?
Sorry, that's me thinking out so loud, sorry.
Okay, then some interesting questions, interesting papers. I mean that I was at on the second day. When a long time ago, I used to be a teacher, and I used to tell my students that they don't have to worry about the assessment. If they learn what they need to learn, the assessment will take care of itself. And I've had to kind of modify my thinking after listening to some of the papers coming, especially out of the School of Accounting, around the work that they have done to prepare their students for assessment, to work on their assessment literacy. And how kind of large an impact really just getting your students prepared in the literacy of assessment can actually make in their performance in those assessments. So I think I might have to modify my thinking around, you just have to worry about what you need to learn, and the assessments will take care of itself, because it does seem that having students well prepared for the assessment that they're going to sit does make a difference in their actual performance in those assessments. It was nice actually this year from a CLTD perspective to see quite a number of our staff members also participating. Typically, we're so busy with facilitating the conference, and this year we actually made some time to do some contributions ourselves. And so from me to the team members, thank you for those contributions as well. Then this morning, I was really interested in Dr. Beetham's paper. I think mostly excited about the possibility of perhaps looking at the resources that she shared and seeing what we can draw from that for our environment, and perhaps how we can have some cooperation with her to learn from the work that she's done. So I had a thought earlier today that this conference, I think, was really good in sparking conversations. I saw in our CLTD WhatsApp chat that Rita mentioned the same thing, that we need to have these kind of conversations more often. And I also think this conference was a really great sparker for conversations that we're going to have in the near future. Sorry, Abdullah, you're quite right. I looked at the conference feedback of yesterday, and many people were really I want to say moved by Prof. Imad's contribution and the thinking that she has around maybe renegotiating the agreements and making learning experience a little bit more friendly and accessible. And Rita as well. Rita says he was absolutely right with the deep and yet engaging practical takeaways. And I think perhaps a good conversation to continue with. I would really like for Prof. Imad to come back and show us in a course, practically, showing screenshots of the conversations that they were having in the courses, so that it's kind of good to have a theoretical discussion, not a theoretical, but a presentation of what she did, but to go a step further to actually see into her courses to what she has done, so that we can learn from that. So that's definitely something that I think we've got to take that next step with further engagement. Something else that Rita also mentioned in the chat is that we used to have lots of lunchtime conversations at CLTD, and that's kind of fallen by the wayside. And perhaps that's something also that we need to resurrect, not just from CLTD, but as an institutional practice, that we take our lunchtimes to have some, what do they call them, brown bag lunches around specific topics. And then just a little bit earlier, the critical dialogue that we had, that was actually a good conversation and an exciting adventure for Sibongile, who had to make everything work, putting her in a warm chair, as it were. So, if you have any thoughts about what exactly you would like to take from this conference into your classroom, perhaps, or what it is that is making you think deeply about the way in which you've been doing your university teaching. We'd love for you to share that in the chat. Then at the end of the day, what I really need to do is to thank the CLTD team for the really hard work that they've done. Actually, from starting quite early in the year, or already to think about the theme of the conference and to think about keynote speakers and to start the process of setting up the conference website and I think especially the really, everybody in the team contributes, and during the course of the conference with facilitating sessions and so on, everybody contributed. But I think the the sleepless nights were probably experienced mostly by Fatima. So Fatima, thank you very much for your hard work on this, and she was really well supported by Candice. So Candice, also thank you very much. And then for our external partner from Wits Enterprise, Sibongile, you and your team. This conference we've managed it before, an external partner before, so it's possible. But I really don't want to do that again. And I'm so grateful that we started this partnership with Wits Enterprise. So thank you very much for the hard work that you and your team have done behind the scenes to make this conference work. Finally, just again, a reminder to complete your conference evaluation. Let us know what it is that we can do to make your conference better. And as a parting shot, maybe if I can ask you, if you are willing to do so, to switch on your cameras and let's just give each other a wave goodbye. And again, thank you all of you for, I forgot, the presenters for the papers and for the courage that you took to stand up in front of a rather large audience to share the work that you've done. We really appreciate you. Obviously, our conference wouldn't have happened without the contributions that you made. Thank you very much to everyone who presented, but also to everyone who attended and participated in the conversations. Thank you very much. And yeah, if you want to switch on your cameras and give a final wave goodbye, thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of your day.